In Chapter 6, we're going to be doing something called solving systems of equations. You don't have to know what that means right now, but one way we will learn to solve them is by graphing them. So before we do lots of graphing in order to solve things, I just wanted to review how to graph to make sure that part is quick and simple for us. So step one is to make sure the equation is in slope-intercept form. And if it isn't, rearrange it so that it is. Once you have it in slope-intercept form, that's the y equals mx plus b, you need to graph the y-intercept first. So the y-intercept is the number that's by itself, the constant. It's the number that has no variable with it. And that tells you a point on the graph. It tells you the place where the graph crosses the y-axis. So I'm just going to do one or two on the back, not all of these. Let's look at number 3. Okay, so number 3, as we look at this, it's already in slope-intercept form, and -5 is the y-intercept. They use b to represent the y-intercept. So that's telling us one point we can use on this graph is -5 on the y-axis. So that gives us a starting point or a starting place for the graph. Okay. Now we need to determine the slope. The slope is the coefficient. It's the number in front of x, or the number multiplying by x. If it's a whole number, you can make it a fraction by placing it over 1, as you can see here. If the top number of the fraction is positive, move up that many spaces from the y-intercept. If the top number is negative, move down that many from the y-intercept. So notice the y-intercept is our starting point, and we use the slope to tell us where to go next. From there, we'll move to the right by the number found in the bottom of the slope fraction and place a point at that location. So let's do it here. So again, we can see right here -5 was the y-intercept. So 2 is the slope, and we can write that as 2 over 1. So since 2 is positive, we'll start at the y-intercept and move up 1, 2. And then we'll go over 1 to the right. So we have a point right here, and then we can draw a line through those 2 points. Now I would recommend that you kind of keep following the pattern of the slope, like up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So you can see I got a little bit off there. And as far as when you're just asked to draw one graph, that's not a big deal if you're just a little bit off. But what we're going to be doing soon is finding where 2 lines meet, like where they intersect. So that'll make it more important that you're exact with your line. So I'd encourage you to do more than just 2 points, just to help you draw a straighter line. Or you can use a straight edge as well, a ruler or something like that. Now, step 3, sometimes this will take you off the graph. If that happens, you can move in the opposite direction in order to stay on the graph. And I'll show an example of that in just a moment, but I want to go and fill in these blanks. So for positive slopes, you can either move up and to the right, which that follows the directions that we talked about right up above, or you can move down and left. So as far as graphs are concerned, up and right are both positive. Down and left are both negative. So if we move up and right, that's a positive slope. If we move down and left, that's 2 negatives put together. We know 2 negatives make a positive when you multiply or divide, which is what we're doing. So that's why it's okay to move up and right or down and left. For negative slopes, you can either move down and right or up and left. So again, down is negative, right is positive. So overall, that's a negative thing, because this is from a fraction, so we'd be dividing these two. Negative divided by positive is negative. Then up is positive, left is negative. a positive divided by a negative is also negative. So I'm going to try to show an example on the back, and also I think the one we already did will help explain it somewhat too. So like right here, we know we started on the y-intercept. We went up 2 over 1, or I should say up to right 1, up to right 1. Well, if you notice, if I do the opposite and go down to left 1, I still stay on that line. Down to left 1, I still stay on that line. Okay, so I'm not sure any of these actually would put us off the graph, so let me just make one up. Let's say we had y equals 2/3 x plus 5. So we'd start with the y-intercept, 5, on the y-axis. It's positive 5. And the slope is 2/3, so that tells us to go up 2 and to the right 3. But if we try to go up 2 and right 3, we're off the graph. So since we can't do that, we'll go down 2 and to the right 1, 2, 3. We'll go down 2, 1, 2, and to the right 3. And you can see hopefully that that's still following the same pattern as if we'd gone up 2 and to the right 3. It's just that's off the graph, so we went the opposite direction to stay on the graph.